Breaking news this morning from Brett McMurphy at Action Network. There is a growing sentiment and a momentum for Oklahoma and Texas to leave the Big 12 a year early and join the SEC in 2024. Industry sources told Action Network. Momentum, Oklahoma and Texas to leave the Big 12 and join the SEC in 2024 instead of 2025. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Flugar. Let's get right into the story. A year early, Texas, Oklahoma. How are they going to pull this off? Well, according to Brett McMurphy and Action Network, a source said that ESPN holds all the keys to the castle to get this done. Wow, breaking news here early this week. Brett McMurphy, December 12th, this morning, just released. I'm going to go into the article and read it. Put down your thoughts in the comment section below the video. There's a growing sentiment and momentum for Oklahoma and Texas to lead the Big 12 a year early and join the SEC in 2024, industry sources told Action Network. The Big 12's current grant of rights expires July 1st, 2025. Oklahoma and Texas have indicated they are committed to remaining in the Big 12 until then, before moving to the SEC for the 2025 season. However, that timetable has since been accelerated and could get completed by next month, sources said. There remains many obstacles for an early move, but one source said the climate is right for the Sooners and Longhorns to exit the Big 12 after the 2023 season and begin playing the SEC in 2024. In other words, if this happens and it seems like the climate is right and there's building momentum, according to sources being told to Brett McMurphy and Action Network, that Oklahoma and Texas would only remain in the Big 12 for one more year and join the SEC in 2024 instead of the scheduled 2025. Back to the article. There's lots of moving parts, but there is a desire in many fronts for this to get done, an industry source said. Sources indicated several factors why the likelihood of an early move for Oklahoma and Texas has increased. The Big Ten grows to 16 teams, with the addition of USC and UCLA in 2024 coinciding with the first year of the college football players' expansion to 12 teams. Another reason, the Big 12 decided to add 4 teams in 2023, even before Oklahoma and Texas left the league. The Big 12 securing its new media rights deal. Privately, Oklahoma and Texas were never in favor of adding the new Big 12 members while they remain in the league, sources said. While both schools have publicly said they would remain through the Big 12's current grant of rights, it's no secret that Oklahoma and Texas wanted out early, and the SEC also would prefer to add the schools in 2024, sources said. There have been many ongoing discussions to find a way for Texas and Oklahoma to leave early without costing the Big 12 any money. That's the key point, and we'll get to it here in a bit in this episode. Without costing the Big 12 any money, an industry source said. However, everyone has to be made whole. Everybody in the Big 12 would have to be made whole if this happens early. However, how everyone is made whole is the biggest sticking point for all the parties. Big 12 bylaws require Oklahoma and Texas to pay the sum of the league's distribution for 2 years, which is about $84 million per year, sources said. Historically, when a school leaves a conference, that exit fee is negotiated down to about 60%, meaning Oklahoma and Texas could possibly get out for about $50 million each. Oklahoma and Texas and the Big 12 have been involved in discussions for months, but still have not reached a final agreement on the school's buyout amount, sources said. And then there's the SEC. In 2020, the SEC signed a 10-year media rights deal with ESPN, worth around $300 million. It could be well above $300 million. The deal starts in 2024. It includes a pro rata clause requiring ESPN to pay the SEC the same amount per school for any new members. So therefore, Oklahoma and Texas would get paid the same amount as all the current SEC schools once they enter into the conference. Back to the article. This is where it gets complicated, sources said, and raises several questions. How eager is ESPN to pay that increased amount to the SEC in 2024 instead of waiting until 2025? If Oklahoma and Texas join the SEC early, that could decrease the value of the Big 12's final year of its current media rights with ESPN and Fox, which the Big 12 would oppose. Would ESPN be willing to offset those smaller numbers to the Big 12 and also pay more to the SEC? Would Oklahoma and Texas agree to pay more than the expected $50 million buyout to get out early? Would or even could Oklahoma and Texas schedule non-conference road games at Big 12 teams in 24 to help offset the decrease in media rights for that year? The Big 12 would like to happen a year early. The SEC would like Oklahoma and Texas a year early. Fox could care less. I'm not sure what ESPN will do, an industry source said. Added another source. ESPN has all the keys to the castle to make this happen. If you want to read the rest of the article, I will have the link posted in the description box below the video. But basically, according to Brett McMurphy-Action Network breaking news, there is gaining momentum that Oklahoma and Texas will leave the Big 12 a year earlier than scheduled and join the SEC in 2024. The holdup, according to this article, according to sources that have told Brett McMurphy and Action Network, is how do you make those Big 12 teams whole, the current Big 12 teams whole? Because if Texas and Oklahoma leave early and they go to the SEC, that means for a year or two, the Big 12 media rights diminish before the new contract would kick in. And those Big 12 schools would lose money overall. They don't want that to happen. So they want to stick it to Oklahoma and Texas to make them pay that full payout, right, of $84 million instead of reducing it to about $50 million each for Oklahoma and Texas to get out of the bylaws of the Big 12. Now, well, ESPN, they do have the power. They have all the keys to the castles, like the sources said in this article, to Brett McMurphy and Action Network. Would ESPN be willing to put a little bit more money into the Big 12 current contract to make them whole, even if they're losing Oklahoma and Texas? And would ESPN also be willing to take in Oklahoma and Texas a year early? Because remember, they would have to pay out the same amount to Oklahoma and Texas because of the pro rata clause as they do the current SEC schools. So it's all up to basically ESPN. And of course, in this article, it also says that maybe Texas and Oklahoma would play some road non-conference games in 2024 at the stadiums of the Big 12 schools to help offset those possible lesser media money payouts that those Big 12 schools would currently get before the new contract would kick in. Put down your thoughts. What do you think should happen? What do you think could happen? I think it's going to happen. Gaining momentum. There's a lot of reasons to do this for everybody. But again, those Big 12 schools have to be made whole. Please smash the like button if you like our content. Subscribe to our channel and share the video with your family and friends. And please put down your comments on what you think is going to happen. Here at Peek Around the Corner, we believe Oklahoma and Texas will be playing SEC in 2024. Those Big 12 schools will be made whole by hook or by crook, by a lot of different avenues that can be done. We think it's going to happen. Momentum. There's a certain inertia behind all this. The SEC wants to be at 16 schools in 2024, same as the Big Ten. Right when those new college football playoffs, the expansion of those playoffs happen in 2024. We have a complete changing world in college sports and college football. And we are going to stick with this story here at Peek Around the Corner, so please stick with us. Until next time, at Peek Around the Corner, from all of us to all of you, please You all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.